slump of meat down towards that overhanging willow there, and I hooked into something sluggish, which is now woken up. But it's still sluggish, so I'm probably going to lose it. It's certainly putting a bend in this light rod. So it's a small piece of meat, bunch of meat on a size 4, floated down towards the willow, and something's latched onto it, and it's now heading out into midstream. Marvellous. Doesn't seem to be in any particular hurry to come in. But I'm not going to rush it, because I'm enjoying this. It's in the water, it's in its own environment, so it thinks it's happy. I'm happy, because I'm on the other end. As you imagine, it's a chub. This is quite light gear I'm using, so I'm not going to put too much on it. We are gaining on it slowly. Oh, it's coming towards us now. That's handy. It's going to see me in a minute and go absolutely ballistic. I just know it. It's coming in. It's coming up. And it's going away again. Ooh, it's putting a bit of pressure. Oh, we can see the float. We can see the float, so we're off the bottom. Just. There, we're on the bottom. Now this is the danger point where it comes alongside us, because the hook is now pulling straight up. I'm really not gaining much on this fish, you know. Not with this light gear. But it's coming up now. But then it's going to see us and go absolutely bananas. Yeah, it's a nice chub. Nice chub. Let's get the net ready, which we should have done earlier. Oh, now it's going to catch on a rock and snap us off. Never mind. There's the net. Net in the water. Yes, I know it's a salmon net, but still. Not to worry. Here she comes. Here she comes. Look at that. Hook's just in the top lip there. Beautiful. And we're safe. And we'll now just put the rod down. Try not to kick it into the water. And because we've got waders on, because of it, good boys, we can get in the water and unhook this fish while it's sat in the net with the obligatory forceps. Just reach in, oops, grab the hook, pull the hook out, barbless obviously. Now if we clamp that on there, we can put it on the bank safely and look at our prize. 3 pounds, 3 pounds. Oops, calm down. I think you're likely enough to go back, aren't you? Yes. Oops. Oh, come on now. Calm. Do this the old-fashioned way. Just invert the net like that and blop you out. And there she goes. Bye now. And the next one, please. But while we're here, I'll just show you a little trick I learned many years ago on how to prepare your luncheon meat. And here we are. Now, you see, other brands are available. 1 tin of luncheon meat, 1 apple corer, straight down in the tin, pop it out, just break off a chunk like that, stick that on the hook. And Bob's your uncle, as they used to say. Right, get the net back where it should be, all along, in a handy place. Now if we caught a really big fish, the good thing is this is a weigh net, so we can actually weigh it just by lifting it straight up out of the water, down again. Now, by putting the forceps on the hook, we can find it very easily, even if we're not stood on concrete. And also, it doesn't get caught up in anything. Now, check our knots, check our hook, still nice and sharp, yep. Base up and go again. So, there's that little piece of meat we had earlier. There we are. Right, nice big size 4. In, round, through, back in. Easy as that. No need for these fancy hair rigs. God. Stuff and nonsense. Right. Let me try that again. Now this time, I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, nice little centre pin. Now we just plop that out into the flow. Let it settle. Now the idea is to let it drop down, but not out in the main flow, but in where it just the flow meets the back eddy. I'm pretty sure it's called the cut. And we might pick something up here. But we're more likely to pick something up down by that overhanging cover where we had that last one. So bring the line across like that, so it's not dragging. And we're controlling the centre pin just with our thumb, just dabbing on there just to slow it down, because we don't want it to go racing off down the river. Just keeping it, we seem to have beached on a rock or something there. Control the reel simply by touching the top rim with our thumb. Obviously when there's a take, we just clamp our thumb down and strike. Not too hard. Trotting for chub on the River Wye in Herefordshire in mid-October. Nice when the sun comes round. Just letting that drift on down with that, just on that side current, you see? It's where the big fat lazy fish tend to be. Now there's all sorts in here. There's chub, there's some cracking barbel, double figure. Now if we hook one of those, we could be in serious trouble. But yeah, that's fishing, isn't it? What's the worst thing that could happen? We could stand here for 20 minutes trying to land the bloody thing. But also in here we have, and I have seen them, carp, river carp, and they have been hooked apparently, but no one's managed to land one yet, and that's on heavy barbel gear, so I don't stand an earthly chance of landing one of those things. Very few, but I have seen them in the margins whilst fishing for salmon. 15 to 20 pound in weight, I'd say. Put it this way, over 15 pounds. Big, solid fish. And apparently when they have been hooked, you really know it, because they just rip the line off your reel and well, just mock you, really, you and your gear. I mean, the barb will put up a hell of a fight. But these river carp, they're nothing like lake or pond or any stillwater carp. Nothing on them because they've lived their whole lives in rivers like this, so they are big, powerful fish. And they've got tails on them, you know, like both your hands together with your fingers spread out. That's the size of their tails. They are beasts. I've seen them here at Aramstone. I've also seen them at Backney, which is another beat a bit further downriver. Right, we're a bit far away from the... Oh, our line's sinking as well. That's not good. We don't like that. Don't like sinking line. You can't strike quick enough. Bring that back towards us a bit. I want to go nearer to those trees. Rivers are fickle things. We're now about 12 feet away from where we had that last one take. I hope you can still see that float down there. It's a good 22 yards away. Cricket pitch length. Oh, that's 11. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, we're now starting to approach where we should imagine the fish to be. So that's it. We're just going to take up any slack line. Yeah, we're in good contact with the float. We are now approaching where we had that last fish. Which means we probably won't get anything because it's spooked all the others. Now we're coming into where the fish are. That's the taking zone. So, any time now, guys. Are you ready? Still paying out a little bit of line here if you look at the reel. So just a little bit drifting out. Just a little bit. Still keeping under control. Chilly upstream wind, that is. Straight in my face. Now, as I'm getting older, I don't know if I'm getting softer, but I do find this cold wind plays hell with my hands. Especially the one that's controlling the reel. Now, fortunately, with all this modern fabrics that are available now, there are some very thin but warm gloves that you can get. Oh, that float. The float's now going into the deep shadow and we're losing sight of it. Oh, there might be a fish there. You can't let it go too much further, it'll get into a snag. And now I'm losing sight of it. And this is definitely where we had the last fish because the line is just caught up on the reel. So that's obviously where we had the strike last time. The float is now getting dangerously close to those trees. So I'm going to stop the reel. I'm not going to let any more line out and just let it hover there for a bit. Don't know if you can make that float out. It's just this side of the branches, the tree, and the reflection there, little orange tip. and the bait has probably now come to rest on the bottom. So no takers. That last fish probably spooked them out of there, so what we're going to do now is we're going to rest that area and we're going to fish another line a little bit further out. Not going to go any deeper yet. Bringing this in gently because I don't want to lose. Now if you've got plenty of luncheon meat and you want to change baits every time, then if you just a good sharp tug and you'll leave that piece of luncheon meat down by the bushes, which is a way of pre-baiting or baiting up a swim, I suppose, but me, I'm a little more tight-fisted than that. I like my bait to last a bit longer. Now you see that bait has not pulled through the hook, it's still in the bottom there. So that, and as we're trotting, as opposed to a static bait, we're not relying on the scent of the bait attracting the fish. It's more a case of a visual thing. Now, we're now going to just drop that out a little bit further into the flow, like that. And we're going to let that go down a bit further and a bit faster. You might get a take out there, you never know. There's no reason why not. I'll let that, you see the speed of the reel. Oops, let it overrun now because I'll bring it in the frame. Right, see the speed of that reel. And we're letting that float go on down. And I'm just going to start holding back. Just tap it with the thumb like that. Just let it rub a little bit, slow it down. And what that does, it tends to make the bait just drift up off the bottom and come back down. And every time you stop it, it lifts, and you let it go, and it drops back. That can get a fish to take it. Or waving at them a little more. Oh, that's chill wind. Ooh, winter's coming. Question for you, what's that the opening line of a well-known TV series? Winter's coming. Thought I'd throw that in, a bit of entertainment. Right, you see how we got down there a lot quicker this time. Oh, big fish just rose out there. Could be a salmon. Hate you. Right, we've now got down to where we wanted to be a lot quicker this time. Simply by letting it run down out in the quicker water. Don't know if you can see that all the way down there. I'm just going to hold that back so it swings out a bit more. Just coming out level with those branches furthest out into the stream. Now we should get a take there. If there's any chub down there, this is where they go. Oh, here comes Stanley. Now we're in trouble.